Hello, everybody. The name of the show is Appeal to Reason, and you can find it on YouTube and on Rumble. Today, I'm going to be talking about the Civil War, in a sense, that has broken out among the MAGA supporters. It's Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, so the Doge boys on one side of the argument, and mainly on the other side of the argument, it seems to be Steve Bannon and Laura Loomer. So what they are arguing about, and if you're among the other 95% of Americans, you've never even put any consideration on this topic, is H-1B visas. So what a H-1B visa is basically a visa for people that to come over and immigrate here on a visa just as a temporary work permit, basically, and do a job that requires, a certain amount of skill. It seems to mainly be tech companies that are, getting mainly Indians, it would seem, coming over to fill those positions as, some kind of tech engineers. So yeah, that's what's going on there. And this isn't going to be including, the more low skilled workers that, in the agricultural industry and stuff like that. Those are going to be I believe, H-1A visa. So yeah, not the same thing. But so this is something that, we probably shouldn't be arguing and bickering about. Right now, it's kind of annoying to me because we just won this election. Why don't we just relish the victory, focus on the important stuff? This issue is probably not even in the top 50 that Americans are worried about. But I digress. We're into it right now, so let's just cover the story. Let's look at one of the big tweets that Elon came out with, or not the tweet, but an X post that he came out with, and got everyone up in arms over. I'm not going to share it on the screen because the language that's used in it, but and I don't want to get age restricted on YouTube. But here it is from Elon. The reason I'm in America, along with many critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of other companies that made America strong, is because of H-1B. So take a big step back and blank yourself in the face. There's the language I referred to earlier. Spoiler alert, he did not use the word blank there. He goes on, I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. So strong words there, a bit abrasive language. Not a fan of that, but it's Elon. It's kind of his MO. He spent, billions of dollars to buy X, so might as well have some fun with it, I guess. And I think he just loves the attention it brings his platform because everyone wants to go there and see all the drama going on. Anyways, he goes on to say in a later post, maybe this is a helpful clarification. I am referring to bringing in via legal immigration the top 0.1% of engineering talent as being essential for America to keep winning. This is like bringing in Jockeys or Wembies. So I'm assuming those are NBA players that I just mispronounced the names of. He goes on to say the Jockeys of Wembies of the world to help the whole team, which is mostly Americans, win the NBA. Thinking of America as a pro sports team that has been winning for a long time and wants to keep winning, that is the right mental construct. So I like this analogy that he uses because you can't really think of a better, form of meritocracy than the NBA or the NFL. These teams, they do not care what anyone says. They just get the best people, and the best talent makes it on the field every week. That's how they win games, and winning games equals you making more money. So there's no one out there saying, oh, you don't have enough Asians in the NFL. They're like, no one's making that argument because it's insane. It's kind of insane that people make the other argument about pilots. That's another big one. They're like, oh yeah, we need more women pilots. How about, it's like, no, dude, how about we just have the best pilots? How about we just have the best surgeons? How about we just have meritocracy across the board like we used to do? Sounds like a great argument to me anyways. But, we're trying to think about this rationally. Not everyone uses rationale or reason to make their decisions. So Vivek goes on to talk about this, the same issue on X. So let's go ahead and get right into Vivek's post. The reason top tech companies often hire foreign-born and first-generation engineers over Americans isn't because of an innate American IQ deficit, a lazy and wrong explanation. A key part of what it comes down to is the C word, culture. Tough questions demand tough answers, and if we're really serious about fixing the problem, we have to confront the truth. Our American culture has generated mediocrity over excellence for way too long, and at least since the 90s, and likely longer. It doesn't start in college, it starts young. A culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad champ or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers. True statement. A culture that generates Corey from Boy Meets World, Zach or Slater over Screech and Saved by the Bell, or Stefan over Steve Urkel in Family Matters is not to produce the best engineers. A fact that I know multiple sets of immigrant parents in the 90s who actively limited on how much their kids could watch these TV shows precisely because it promoted mediocrity in their kids and went on to become wildly successful STEM graduates. More movies like Whiplash, fewer reruns of Friends, more math tutoring, fewer sleepovers, more weekends and weekend science competitions, fewer Saturday morning cartoons, more books, less TV, more creating, less chilling, more extracurriculars, less hanging out at the mall. Most normal American parents look skeptically at those kinds of parents, more normal American kids, and view those kinds of kids with scorn. If I grew up aspiring for normalcy is what I will achieve. Now close your eyes and visualize which families you knew in the 90s and even now and raise their kids according to this model versus the other. He goes on to say, normalcy doesn't cut it in this hyper-competitive global market for technical talent. And if we pretend that it does, we are going to have our butts handed to us by China. This can be our Sputnik moment. We've awoken from slumber before, and we can do it again. Trump's election hopefully marks the beginning of a new golden era for America, but only if our culture fully wakes up. A culture that once again prioritizes achievement over normalcy, excellence over mediocrity, nerdiness over conformity, hard work over laziness. That's the work we have cut out for us. Rather than wallowing in victimhood and just wishing for legislating alternative hiring practices into existence, I'm confident that we can do it. So yeah, I don't really see anything to disagree with there unless I'm just completely off and missing something. You can guys let me know in the comments if you feel like that's the case. Also, if you're liking this video, give me a like and subscribe to the channel. And share the video with your friends if you feel so inclined. It'd be much appreciated. He makes really good points about, a lot of American parents. They make the mistake of trying to be their kid's friend, or they just want their kids to like them. And that's not your job as a parent. Your job is to prepare your kids to go out into the world and take on the adventures of life and be successful. And a lot of parents, or the kids that I grew up with, if they had gotten like a BMW at 16, those kids were the most miserable people I have ever met because they just didn't have any resilience. They hadn't been challenged in life. Everything was handed to them. So, when the storms of life came up on them and they had problems, they didn't know how to deal with it, because the minor inconvenience, just was like the end of the world to them, because they weren't prepared for it. They had never been challenged before, because their parents did too much for them. And, this world is getting more and more competitive as technology grows, and it's like the world is shrinking, because you're competing against more and more people. You're competing with people, across the world, that either want to come here, or, you can work remotely for so many jobs. So everything that you want, especially as a man, life has become insanely competitive for young men. That raise you want, all the money you want, someone else wants it, and they're working, to get it. And, they're willing to put in 50, 60, 80 hours a week to get it. So if you can't, if you're like, oh, I'm only going to work 40 hours a week, good luck, pal. Like, you cannot compete. You will get so far behind that guy that's willing to work 50, 60 hours a week, every week, week in and week out. You will never catch up to that guy. If you strive for mediocrity, you're going to have a mediocre life, okay? You're going to have a miserable life with a wife that doesn't respect you, because she thinks you're just an average bloke, and she could have a dozen other average blokes instead of you. So that's just the facts of life right now for men in this country. And then let's go on to see what Steve Bannon had to say on his show. I really have a lot of respect for Steve. I think he's got a great program, and let's go ahead and see what he has to say here.
Let me repeat this. The program from top to bottom is a scam and a con. There is nothing in this program that should continue to exist. Nothing. The workers are here on this should be deported as soon as the 15 million that we're going to start deporting on the afternoon of the 20th of January. Deport them now and hire American citizens that have the same skill set. We're not asking you to go down market because you can't show examples of the high-skilled foreign workers. These are coders that are going to work for a third of the salaries and work like indentured servants. That's not American citizens. Sorry. And I think there needs to be massive reparations from the sociopathic overlords in Silicon Valley. So look, note one, when the enemy's in retreat, you put the bayonet on and you pursue and you pursue and you pursue till you break them. This is not a game. This is people's lives. This is the direction of this country. This is this country. It's all there. Just that we won on November 5th. I keep telling you, you think it's done? Look what President Trump's got to face. You got Janet Yellen messing with the balance sheet. You got Ed Dowd saying what I've been saying, this thing, they have specifically messed with the balance sheet, so Trump comes in, he's jammed up. You got the Russians are now looking at another offensive around Kursk, and we just put another $2.5 billion so that more Ukrainians can die in the battlefield. The Persians are heading towards a nuclear weapon. We still got a couple of carry battle groups in the Red Sea protecting the European elites for the Suez Canal, and you got the Chinese Communist Party all set to roll on Taiwan.
So some good points there, on other issues. Obviously Trump has a lot of problems that he's facing, which is, I think he's making a good argument why we really should, be united right now in the light of our election victory, rather than dividing ourselves over something that, like I said earlier, isn't a top 50 issue that Americans even care about right now. So, and his statement on reparations is kind of wild to me. That's not the kind of thing that we as a party should be talking about. That is definitely that has some serious socialist tones to it that I don't like. But let's go ahead and look at another video of his from his show.
100% moratorium on all immigration until we get this thing sorted and we can go through the lies of this legal immigration for decades and decades and decades.
So he was explaining earlier that he's an Irishman earlier in that video. adds the context to the bagpipes. um, but anyways, that idea of the 100% moratorium on immigration it's a dumb idea. Okay. All due respect to Steve, he makes some great points on his show day in and day out, but this is not one of them. If we go ahead and deport all the people that are here on work visas, along with all the other people, all the illegals we have to deport that Biden brought in over the past 4 years, yeah, that's going to be a tough undertaking. Also, just think of what it would do to the farming industry. So, yeah, we've got enough people here that aren't working that could go and work at these farms, but they don't live anywhere close to these farms, okay? These farms are in towns that have like 5 unemployed guys that are 65, and they're not going to be able to go out and, be harvesting sunflowers or milking cows all day. Like, we're going to see the price of milk be $15 a gallon, at which point the entire industry will collapse because no one's going to pay $15 a gallon. They're going to just start drinking water or something much worse like Coca-Cola or something. Okay. It's a bad idea. I could go on to show Laura Loomer's point of view, but speaking of bad ideas, that lady ain't got many good ideas. Okay, she's probably at least I can think of, the dumbest right-wing political commentator that I can think of. Ann Coulter gives her a run for the money every now and then. But yeah, if you guys disagree with that, tell me who is less intelligent than Laura Loomer, who gives more bad takes than Laura Loomer. I remember I was driving to work listening to the Tim Pool show when she said that everyone that was trying to indict Trump should be, unalived by the justice system. Yeah, I literally just had to turn the show off, and I was like, what just happened? And I had to just listen to music the rest of my drive to work. But anyways, yeah, I'm not going to dive into what Laura has to say today. If you enjoyed this show, please give me a like and subscribe. And until next time, thank you.